Cancelled.
Schweezy.
We got an update from this motherfucker again.
Oh my gosh, so deep. I fucking love it.
I'm gonna start that sentence over. We got an update from this motherfucker again.
And I really like that.
Residents fuming as Garth Brooks fans urinate on streets and throw plants through letterboxes. This is from Dublin Live. Dublin residents are furious after some Garth Brooks fans have used their streets as a toilet after the gigs. Some concertgoers making their way back have reportedly been spotted urinating on Sherrard Street, much to the horror of local families. Plants in gardens near Croke Park were also uprooted and shoved through a letterbox. Chair of Sherrard Pride of Place, Lynn Hooper, said that residents have had enough with 2 gigs still left to go. She said, "I'm fuming. I have had enough with 2 gigs still left to go. Still left to go. Our streets is always used as a toilet constantly. Then we have the rubbish as well. The council put a barrel at the top of the road in the bins, but on Saturday the guards stopped people from drinking past our street. So everyone ended up congregating on our streets drinking. We were kind of acting like marshals on the street. One of the residents was offering his toilet to people, complete strangers, so that they wouldn't go on the street. We need more than 1 barrel of bins. It was totally full, overflowing. There were bottles and all on the street. I have been saying that the toilets are needed at our end. We have been asking for this for GAA matches as well. Our street is free parking, and all of them park on our street. Before they get into their cars to do their long drive home, they urinate on the streets. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely disgraceful." Dublin Live has contacted Aiken Promotions in Croke Park for comment. So I've talked about this whole, Garth Brooks says he booked 5 shows, and this is well apparent that he's actually tried to book this before, and the neighborhood was like, no, 5 shows is too many. But at the same time, I've also said, because I have once had to play, there's an amphitheater I had to play at, and the cops got called, and so I'm like, this is an amphitheater. Events like this go on, and why are we getting in trouble for a noise complaint and having to stop right now? And that kind of, I think about that here at Croke Park, where it's like these people decided to live at Croke Park, near Croke Park, where big events happen. Big events like Garth Brooks playing happens. You decided to live at Croke Park. You have to live with all the bullshit that goes on with living anywhere. Like when you live in the city, when you live in a place in the city, you have to realize, oh yeah, noise is going to happen here. Different obvious scenarios are going to happen since I live in this area. That's what you have to realize when you decide to live in a certain point. Like if you live with your mom, then you're paying with your mental health. Stuff like that. So you knew better. You're like, I'm going to live near Croke Park. That's where I want to live, where they do events all the time. And people go to those events, and then they act like assholes afterwards. So it's partially, I do think it's their fault. Now I want to go to Garth Brooks. Now, recently it was discovered that from someone who cleans planes in the Nashville airport, that Garth Brooks had an accident and shit all over his bathroom rug and all over the bathroom and barely made it to the toilet. And Garth apparently has been notorious for being a bad client for people who clean planes and always doesn't want to pay and stuff like that. So we already know that Garth Brooks is a shitty person.
And I really like that.
That's the only sound drop I have of Garth. I like that, and I really like that. And so we can't imagine his fans being any better. Now, I'm a person, I've met country music artists. I've lived with country music artists. And I can tell you, country music artists are just god-awful people. Like, you know how cancel culture went for, everyone in the music and the entertainment industry? Didn't go anywhere near country music. We're just learning, was it some asshole, his wife is, transphobic or whatever. It's not Jason Aldean, but it's one of those people. Don't be like, I talk shit on Jason Aldean. I can't even remember who. It's these generic, Jason Aldean, Kenny Chesney, people like that. I'm I don't fucking know the difference between you two. Chances are you're probably the same person. They're terrible people. I don't know Jason Aldean or those guys. But anyways, I've lived with country music artists, and they're the ones They're the only ones left, like, of musicians who are, like, cheating on their girlfriends / wives, and getting into fight with other band members on shows. And it's so amazing because, like, me, if I go play a show, it's like we're either talking, hanging out, maybe having a few drinks, or we're by ourselves and not talking to each other and stuff like that. We're calling someone, stuff like that. We're just chill. We're just doing our thing, like that. So we're not, like, sticking our dicks and strangers and shit like that. It's not as music isn't as cool as it used to be. Then country art, unless you're a country artist, then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go to a strip club and then bore everyone else in the van ride by talking to my wife and kids. And then I'm gonna punch this guy in this other band because he pissed me off. He said something to me and he pissed me off. Like me, because I just view music as a job. So it's like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna do my thing and get out. And not country music. Country music musicians are just the worst people ever, and they brag about how shitty they are. Like, that's how bad. You know you're a bad person when you brag about how shitty of a person you are. That's how you know you're a bad person. And then you play the shittiest music ever, or like, oh, my old name Dr. Phil and shit like that. And like, you just know you're a terrible person. Maybe Garth Brooks has terrible fans as well. They're all like, hey, I'm gonna piss on the street, gonna fuck them. I'm funky country, and we like it that way. It's like that. So, I don't know. Why does Garth Brooks have the worst fans? Garth Brooks, you know, one of the best-selling music artists in the world, he has the worst fans to ever exist. Pretty disappointing, Garth. Maybe you should do something. I mean, these people know they live by Crook Park and they have to deal with this shit, but at the same time, Garth, maybe tell your fans to stop being shitty too, and maybe you should stop shitting on fucking planes and give the families closure, Garth. Maybe that's what you should do. Start giving families closure, family members that you've murdered yourself, Garth. It's not likable. I would definitely say that I don't.
And I really like that.
I don't really like that. Hey there, you just checked out a highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you learned something and that you are now a smarter individual. Just so you know, we have full episodes and other many highlights available now. Click here for the next best thing that you can go check out as well. And make sure you press that subscribe button and press that notification bell. That way you get updated anytime we make a new post or anytime that we make a new highlight or full episode. So thank you, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.